Ain't out. It's the mafia. This shit for all the gangsters, nigga. Real story. Jugging out the double doors, cuz in the 6'4". Choppers hitting switches on these niggas back in 94. Basketball practice, and after that I'm back to selling dope. When the cops hit the ab, I done made a rack off of my pager though. When the WAP hit my box, I'ma hit them back, I'm on the payphone. My shoebox getting full, I need to go buy me a safe for real. It's treacherous outside, not supposed to have it, but I paid for it. A brand new out the box, Toolie on me while I'm trapping. And I hope I ain't gotta go use it, but I know how shit tend to happen. And plus it be like insurance with a nigga be out here trafficking. I'm talking about how the money gon' be good, but the niggas hating gon' be on bullshit. So it's Mando that I'm sliding with this full clip and I bust this bitch. Trust me if I tell you that I'm with this shit, I did this shit. Believe me when I tell you it's on the floor, I don't be capping, nigga. If I don't pick my phone up when you call, I might be trapping, nigga. On the first and the third, I need like 3 boxes of baggies, nigga. Trapping like my 9 to 5, and I lust for a life of crime. When it's popping outside, I'm out sliding with this brand new 9. And I'd rather do it dolly, cause I can shoot this bitch while I be driving and hold that bitch steady. I done let loose while big steady driving. Back, it's time for that Culture for the Streets podcast hosted by Mafia and Paint. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ding the notification bell. Do not leave up out the trap till you've been served. We do this every day. Latch on the dough, we getting right back to the dough. Anyway, I just want to jump into this Terrance Gangster Williams, Birdman's brother, and Lil Boosie situation. Whereas Vlad recently asked Boosie what he felt about the decisions Gangsta made in order to be freed from federal prison. And if you don't know exactly what Gangsta was involved in, he's legendary in New Orleans. He was a stepper for show. He come from the original Hot Boys, which the rap group Hot Boys got their name from the actual street clique, the Hot Boys. Well, you know, as you would know, if you don't know, we gonna post you. We gonna give you everything straight up top. But anyway, he gave up some of his homies that had passed away or was dead, had been killed or whatever. But long story short, they were dead, and he told about some murders that were unsolved. And because he gave up these murders that were unsolved, they let him out of prison. But the people that he gave up were niggas from his own crew, a crew he started, a crew he helped start with others, a nigga that sat down at a table with some other niggas and made some commandments, a chain of commandments, a chain of rules, protocol, all of that. So to be ahead of something, go down, do 20-something odd years, then decide I'm gonna tell them my homies that ain't here no more, so I can get out. Now, a lot of people outside of Louisiana don't see no problem with that, but you have to understand Louisiana first. Louisiana is a place that take the loss of life and they celebrate it with second lines and bands, and it's like a I'm not gonna say it's a citywide parade, but this is like a moving party to celebrate the loss of life. You see what I'm saying? And this is a thing in Louisiana because you just don't die. People come to your wake and your funeral and then go eat barbecue chicken and then it's over with. They celebrate you, celebrity or not. That's like a thing in Louisiana. So I can see why a lot of people do not agree with what he did as far as throwing his homies under the bus, even though they not here, no longer living. They still don't agree with it because you have to understand the culture of Louisiana. You have to understand second lines. You have to understand the celebration of death. You see what I'm saying? To understand why people in Louisiana are offended by the way Gangsta decided to throw his own homeboys that ain't no longer here
under the bus so he could be free from prison. Now, Gangsta don't see nothing wrong with it. But then you got people that's still out here like Hot Bizzle, Hot Beezle, Birdman, people that sat at that round table with Gangsta when they established these protocols, these rules, the structure of what was going on with the Hot Boys. And then for you to go and tarnish them protocols, the structure, and everything y'all put together sitting at that round table. To go against that, I see why Birdman put his distance between you because Birdman's still outside. Birdman's still moving militant. Birdman still associated to a lot of niggas that's outside still. And he cannot really be associated with niggas that the ratted, blood or not. And as much as this is a family issue, I commend Birdman for that because he's standing on business. And this is an example to the younger generation to it's no discrimination when it comes to that shit. So if that's what you choose, you have to make your bed and lay in it. And like Terrance said, he told Birdman, well, where my pillow? Meaning he content with his decisions he made, regardless of this if Birdman disagree with it. You see what I'm saying? And when Vlad asked Boosie how he felt about the decisions that Gangsta made in order to be freed from prison by throwing his niggas under the bus about some murders that was unsolved. Boosie was passionate about how he felt. Now, keep in mind, Boosie's from Baton Rouge. Different set of politics than New Orleans, but this is a Louisiana thing. They second line. This is a second line thing. The issue, they celebrate death. So for you to throw the same people you celebrated that the town and the loved ones of this person celebrated when they passed on, it's just like you throw so much dirt on them by doing this. You see what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, these was your blood, your brothers by blood. You see what I'm saying? Not when I say blood, I'm not saying by relative. I'm saying blood because it was a lot of blood in the street with the Hot Boys. The Hot Boys put a lot of blood in the streets coming up out that Magnolia. They are reputable niggas from the NO. They section, they reputable. Like the nigga Gangsta is a reputable from the penitentiary to the streets. Like regardless of what the decision he made to get where he's at. Prior to that, Gangsta was the standard of New Orleans. You see what I'm saying? So once again, I can see why Boosie was passionate about saying he didn't agree with that. And for the fact that he didn't agree with it, for the fact that at one point in the street, let's just be honest about it. Birdman was Terrance Gangster Williams, not Baby. In the street, Terrance Gangster Williams, Giggity. He was what you look at Birdman like today. He was the Birdman. He was Birdman outside. He was the niggas responsible for them bodies. He was the nigga that was responsible for putting blood on the shoe. So for you to help create chain of command, build structure, protocol, the do's and don'ts of what this brotherhood gonna represent and stand on, you went against that. So you got to expect the survivors of what you created to not agree with you because y'all set up a set of rules and you are the only one that broke them. And Boosie just stating that, nigga, it's a lot of niggas in jail that know gangster, that stand on gangster name, like they rep gangster name. Like, so for him to go and do that, it's like a smack in the face to solid niggas, which it is. Because if a solid nigga is saying, that's my dog, he's solid, he 100, 1,000, the nigga firm, he stands sturdy, whatever the case, want to stand up guy, whatever you want to call a nigga in your section, because everybody call it something different where they from. But for people to be representing that and standing on that and cut you and shoot you over these types of the disrespect on this man's name, and then you go and do that, it's an immediate slap in the face. So I understood what Boosie was saying by you got niggas doing life in prison, niggas in prison from your section, from your city that stand on your name. And you went against it all because you seen light at the end of the tunnel some kind of way, and you had to figure out how you can get into that light. And so you freed yourself by giving up your homies. Now, granted, nobody went to jail for what you did or what you said, but telling is telling. And once again, I can understand where Baby coming from. I can understand where Boosie coming from. But one thing Boosie should have never done in this situation, because this is a family matter first and foremost. It's a family matter. This shit started with Baby, Slim, Gangsta, Hot Diesel. These niggas is what's left of that movement. So you see, you have to understand what's going on. And it's just like brothers arguing. You cannot pick a side in brothers arguing, because when these niggas men they bond back together, you gonna be the one that's left out the whole situation because you chose a side when you should have just stayed out the whole situation, because that's a family matter. And Boosie got into a family matter. And it ends up being a back and forth because of that, because you got to understand Gangsta gonna respond. At the same time, I don't feel like Vlad instigated it by the answer, asking the Boosie the question, because when he asked Boosie the question, most of the time when Boosie is asked questions about Louisiana as a whole, he has no comment because he don't like speaking on the politics of Louisiana, and he says this all the time. But in this particular case, they are asking him about a nigga that they told. So Boosie has something to say, but that doesn't mean that Vlad knew he was gonna have something to say, because most of the time he tell you he don't want to talk about no Louisiana politics. But this particular case, he had a response. He was passionate about a response, because you got to understand, Boosie might not have had to do 20 years, but he was in there fighting for his life, fighting the death penalty. You don't have to get found guilty to go through the same struggle, nigga. He went through the same process. He just beat his process. So when he said everybody ain't gonna be able to make it, that's a fact, because some niggas gonna beat they shit. Some niggas not gonna beat they shit. You didn't beat your shit, so you told on a nigga to get out your shit. Whereas he didn't have to tell on a nigga to get out his shit. He beat his shit. So I understand the perspective and the passionate way that Boosie let that come out his mouth. And I understand the response from Gangsta, but at the same time, Gangsta don't care. He made his decision. He made his bed. He got to lay in it, and he cool with that shit. You see what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think, though. Drop them comments in the comments section. I need to know what y'all think about this whole situation. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Do not leave up out the building till you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Don't leave up out the trap till you've been served, and we serve it every day. It's time for that Culture for the Streets podcast, hosted by Mafia Paint. We finna level up in y'all face, man. We got a lot of shit going on. We is not these regular YouTube niggas, man. We got designer shoes, merch all over the board. We got real business going on, man. So make sure y'all log in, tap in, man. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. The trap is open 24/7 around this way. It's time for that Culture for the Streets, hosted by Mafia Paint, man.